By the end of this episode, Mark bites a dude's shoulder like a straight-up animal, watches the love of his life get impaled, and headbutts a war criminal into a coma. And honestly, that is just Tuesday for the show. Let's break down how Invincible Season 3 finale wrecks its main character in the best way possible. The episode picks up right where the last one left off. Mark and this mystery Viltrumite throwing hands. No introductions, straight to violence. One punch in, and there is already collateral damage, which tracks every time Viltrumites fight to the death on the show. Regular people pay for it. We saw it with Omni-Man and Mark in Season 1, with the massacre on Thraxa in Season 2, with the prison break earlier this season. The one exception was Anissa's fight with Mark, since she wasn't actually trying to kill him, just sending a warning that more Viltrumites are coming if Earth doesn't fall in line. That fight wrecked Mark last time, so we saw him training hard in the season premiere to level up. Problem is, dude's head is nowhere close to ready. The Invincible War just ended. Rex is dead. Eve's in the hospital, and Angstrom Levy, the whole reason any of this happened, slipped away clean. No time to process any of it. And now this new Viltrumite shows up stronger than anything the GDA has ever logged. Bad timing doesn't even cover it. Mark's fighting on autopilot, even tries to talk the guy down, which is a joke since this dude explicitly wants a real fight and wants Mark to actually resist. Oliver's the one who steps up, flying in with Debbie's blessing to fight alongside his big brother. Something he has been begging for all season. Big moment for the kid. But it is obvious fast that he is nowhere near this level, and the Viltrumite clocks that, immediately turning his attention onto Oliver. With his little brother in danger, Mark finally finds a reason to actually fight. Pins the guy down and starts wailing on him, echoing his fight with Angstrom last season. But remember, Mark held nothing back in that fight, and basically killed the guy, which messed him up after. So now, maybe subconsciously, he is pulling his punches again, scared of what happens if he doesn't. Omni-Man told him flat out to stop holding back and fight like a Viltrumite, and Mark refused, which is part of why his dad got captured, and Earth ended up on the Empire's radar in the first place. The Viltrumite shakes off the hits like nothing. Cut to the GDA. Cecil's got Sinclair, rushing to turn dead Mark clones into weapons. But even in death, Viltrumite bodies are stupidly durable. Meanwhile, Eve wakes up in the hospital, sees Mark getting destroyed on television, and immediately tries to jump into the fight, accidentally outing his secret identity to her parents. In the process, new prosthetic leg and everything. She doesn't care. She is going. Back in the fight, the Viltrumite tosses Mark aside and knocks Oliver out of the sky with one hit. One of the hardest scenes in the whole show to sit through, made worse because you know exactly how strong this guy is, and he is just toying with him. Oliver only survives because the Viltrumite decides to savor it instead of finishing him. Mark drags the fight elsewhere, and we get a brutal callback to the Season 1 train scene. Except now, the Viltrumites dragging Mark by the throat through a beachfront city, the wind alone from their speed tearing bystanders apart. Mark finally lands a real hit, right as Eve shows up. He tries to get her out of there, but she is already committed. Eve's never been great in a straight-up brawl, and it shows. She holds her own for a bit with some slick air density tricks and improvised weapons. But she is outmatched, and the Viltrumite puts a hole clean through her stomach. He taunts Mark over her body, thanking him. Turns out this is the first fight he has actually gotten to cut loose in, and he is loving every second. Mark drops the coldest line in the whole series, and finally snaps. They clash again, hard enough to shatter both his arm and the Viltrumite's prosthetic. The Viltrumite tells him getting mad doesn't make you stronger, but that is the thing. Mark's been subconsciously holding back this entire fight, and it is only after watching Eve seemingly die that he stops. He told her minutes earlier he can't live without her. Now she is gone, and he has got nothing left to lose. He bites down on the guy's shoulder like an animal. Then the scene cuts to Eve waking her powers back up. If you skip the special episode, this looks like it comes out of nowhere. But it is canon that Eve's got a mental block stopping her from altering living tissue. One that only breaks under serious trauma. First time we saw it happen was after she lost her father figure and birth mother. Getting a hole punched through her gut apparently counts too. This distracts Mark long enough to get pinned. And that is when the Viltrumite finally opens up, reveals he doesn't have a name, just a purpose. Conquest. Names carry weight in this universe. They tie you to people, to family, to identity. Think how big a deal it was when Debbie finally named Oliver, or how Powerplex fixates on remembering his dead family's names. Conquest's confession here is his most vulnerable moment. He admits he is lonely, that even his own people fear him despite his power, that he has no friends. He seeks out strong enemies, because that is the only connection he can get. Same energy as Joker needing Batman, to actually feel like something. He is not gloating as he is about to kill Mark. He is heartbroken, because he finally found someone on his level, and now he has to end it. That is when Eve blasts him from behind. Mark finishes the job, breaks his own hand doing it, and starts bashing Conquest's skull into the pavement, asking him if he is still having fun. Conquest says he takes the good with the bad. Fun bit of trivia. Conquest's voice actor is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Negan on The Walking Dead, and Mark's voice actor Stephen Yeun played Glenn. The last scene those two shared on that show was Morgan's character bashing Yeun's character's skull in. Wild little Easter egg for the Kirkman faithful. Mark crawls to Eve, tells her he loves her. She says it back, and both of them pass out. Eve wakes up completely healed and confused about her own nudity, which, symbolically, tracks as a rebirth image. No prosthetic leg, no wounds, reborn clean. Cecil and the team roll in to scoop them up. At the hospital, Debbie shows up and actually gets to stay this time, unlike Eve's parents earlier, apologizing to Mark for putting unspoken pressure on him his whole life. He tells her she did nothing wrong. Cecil thanks Mark, who immediately asks to see Conquest's body. Remember, last season's kill didn't actually stick, so he needs to confirm this one did. Seeing the body doesn't bring him peace though. If anything, he looks angrier, probably stewing over asking Cecil for help after swearing he never would again, letting Oliver get hurt, and nearly losing Eve. Then we get Rex's funeral. Rudy gives the eulogy through a drone, honoring Rex's sacrifice alongside the other Invincible war casualties. Bulletproof, Black Knight, Shrapnel, and Bulletproof Baby among them. Rudy and Rex fought together longer than any other duo on the show, so it makes sense he gets the floor. Ray's there too, off alone under a tree, crying. She loved Rex more than anyone, opened up to him the same way he opened up to her, but she wasn't in the fight during the war despite still having her powers, and it is easy to read that as guilt eating at her, same as Debbie's earlier apology. Then Rudy drops a bomb. He is changing his name to Rex in honor of him. This was actually teased last season when future Eve joked about a future Rex, who turned out to be Rudy in disguise. Names have been a big theme all season. Powerplex's obsession with remembering names, Conquest having none, and now Rudy literally taking a dead friend's name and cloned body for himself. Framed as honoring Rex, sure, but it is also kind of a quiet identity theft. Everything Rudy does from here on reflects on Rex's memory. Now, Eve tries to give her own eulogy, but breaks down before she can finish. Despite the cheating, her bond with Rex clearly ran deep. Mark comforts her, and instead of being sad about losing his friend, he is just relieved Eve's alive in front of him. Cut to Mark's room, where the two finally sleep together, and his suit appears to be melting afterward, hinting Eve's powers might have changed since her rebirth. Then the finale kicks into setup mode for what is next. The Sequids have taken multiple hosts underground. Battle Beast is still alive, but frozen in space. Angstrom's got a new arm, and biggest bombshell, Conquest is actually still alive, and Cecil wants to keep him as a hostage for Empire intel. Considering what it took just to put him down once, that is a scary gamble. Mark and Oliver have a quiet conversation about whether killing villains is really the only way to stop them for good, and the show doesn't give an easy answer. We've seen plenty of rehabilitated villains do real good. Darkwing 2, Sinclair, Powerplex, even Titan, the crime boss, keeping his neighborhood clean. But we've also seen guys like Angstrom and Conquest who are simply too far gone. It is a real moral tightrope for a hero who has just tasted what it means to stop holding back. And in the final scene, we cut to Damien Darkblood, deep in conversation about summoning some powerful surface dweller to help another demon reclaim his throne, setting up whatever's coming next. That is the finale. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Drop a like if you are rocking with the analysis, and I'll catch you in the next one.